Bonjour, Star Music. See Tom Murphy, Gibson Custom Shop in Nashville. So glad to be with you. Essentially, the foundation of what we call the custom shop is maintaining the production of vintage styled. So we have a reference for our 59 335 and for the 63 335 and the Firebirds and the Les Paul Juniors. That is our role with Gibson. And it's awesome that we now offer those things that are really precious in the vintage market. We have a really good alternative.
They've always built incredible guitars with great accuracy, but the accuracy that we can build things at now has changed due to technology. Now we have the ability to 3D scan things where we can look at individual top carves on 59 Les Pauls, and we scan every single one we get our hands on. We probably have 75 different 59 Les Paul top carves on files now. We probably have 100 different 59 neck profiles on file, cataloged. Some of them are super flat when you get to the side. Some of them have this huge dish going around the outside, like you could skateboard around it. And there's everything in between. Having the ability to really analyze and look at that stuff and then program around it to build. We can build you a guitar with the Pearly Gates top carve on it, exactly. We can build one with the Jimmy Page #1 top carve. We can do all of these things that in previous eras where approximations or guessing what we think it is, we know now through all this technology. And I think bringing all that technology in just makes it better and better and better and closer to what we're chasing or what our customers are chasing, which is the feeling of owning an original. You know, that's what we're always trying to do, that vintage ownership experience that when you open the case and you pull it out, you feel like you have a $500,000 59 Les Paul in your hands.
M2M stands for made to measure, which is borrowed from like a made to measure suit, a made to measure something custom made. It is our program to take a core model custom shop and do modifications. Our customers oftentimes want to have a special top, maple top, special color, maybe different fingerboards, something that's personalized for them. Made to measure was for the customer that wants something different, unique, personalized, special. So as far as how much we can do on made to measure guitars, you know, do we have limitations and things like that? Yeah, there are always some limitations. The process is a very simple process. Somebody has dreamed they finally am ready to order my special custom guitar. Go to their music store, give the salesperson, this is what I want, how much will this cost me? We do a quote on that. We check with our sources here to determine, okay, there are many things that I know we can do, okay? I know we can paint a guitar translucent blue, okay, that I know. But there's some things, it's like, I haven't had this question yet. I'll go to our engineering or I'll go to our finish department or our buyers. Can we do this for this guitar? And once they get back to me, if it's not at this time for whatever reason, that comes back to the store and the customer makes his decision. We oftentimes never have a problem because if you can think of any customized thing that could be done to a guitar, we've been asked, can we do it?
Bonjour, Star Music. Tom Murphy here at the Gibson Custom Shop where I have my Murphy Lab where we do the aging.
Vous l'avez compris, nous sommes avec la légende Thom Murphy et nous avons la chance de choisir des tables avec lui aujourd'hui pour préparer nos guitares. So, let's go, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to prepare amazing guitars for us?
Oh, every day. There's literally a room in this building called the Murphy Lab, and it's private, and most people out here have never been in the lab. Late 2017 and 18, I discovered an entirely new process, which I was really, really surprised and pleased with that I was using in restoration. And the restoration guitars just look amazing. So when I was approached to maybe come in here full time instead of staying in my shop, I said, that's the future. Let's do this. And they've supported it completely, especially my friend Cesar. He and I were teamed together doing that, and he engineered a lot of the concept of the lab. And the lab is based on a process that I brought. So we engineered it in the 4 levels of aging, They engineered the offering. We have 50 guitars of all the Les Pauls, 335s, Firebirds, and SGs that we have in our core, we call it, product. You can deviate from that, made to measure. You can get anything in our core and then change something, a color or whatever. You know you don't have to worry about scratching your guitar. You can lean it against your amplifier. You can play it and have fun and be relaxed the whole time, because imagine a beautiful, beautiful top on a Les Paul, all shiny and glossy, one scratch. It doesn't make it sound better. It just makes you feel better while you're playing it, I think.
The most important things that make a great guitar, first off, neck feel. And not just the shape of the neck, but the feel of the neck. That roll on the binding. You know, I've played vintage guitars for so many years that you get used to that. When I picked up the first Murphy Lab guitar that came off the line and I felt it, it was like, oh, there it is. There's no sharp edges. Everything is rounded. Everything feels like your thumb has been rolling over it.
I've always been intrigued looking at my old guitars and wondering how that happens. Where did this scratch come from? When did I wear all the lacquer off the back of the neck? You don't see it happen, but it happens while you play it for years and years and years. So the whole idea now with the Lab especially is when we do the effects, they have to look authentic. You don't just put a scratch or a dent random. You have to make it similar and consistent with what normally would happen. So we have a process on the back of the neck on the ultra heavies now. We don't just peel the paint off. We have a special process that leaves parts of the finish in strategic areas. And so when you look at it, you go, wow, that really looks like it was played a lot. Imagine giving these and one of these and a hammer and a heat gun to somebody and a guitar and go, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. What would the guitar look like if he's had no experience? It's really cool to see the guys develop. I mean, like artists, because they have to create this stuff. The guitars are brand new and shiny when they get them. We are not just banging on guitars. I told them not long ago, I just realized nobody ever hit their guitar with their car keys. So don't make it look like you hit the guitar with car keys. It's supposed to simulate rivets on your blue jeans and belt buckles and bracelets on your wrist. Our finish is made just to apply aging to it. No longer do I take a razor blade and make lines like I used to. I don't have to do that anymore because we have a real, complete weather checking on the entire guitar. We want people to see, feel, and hear the instruments that come out of the lab. Well, how come a cherry sunburst after 30 years looks like it's the color of iced tea? Because of exposure to UV light. So people have become really attracted to a faded version of cherry.
Ce qui m'a attiré vers Gibson, c'est justement les Les Paul et les bursts. Je sais pas pourquoi, il y a quelque chose qui t'accroche l'œil et qui te donne envie de, je sais pas, de jouer. C'est à la fois un instrument et un objet d'art, je dirais. Contrairement à certaines marques ou certains autres modèles qui sont un peu plus épurés, la Les Paul, il y a tellement de choses à regarder, tellement de petits détails, encore plus quand c'est des bursts où tout varie dans la finition d'un modèle à l'autre. T'auras jamais la même teinte, jamais les mêmes variations dans les veines du bois, la couleur, et je pense que c'est ça qui m'a un peu fasciné.
I have 4 colors that I offer: lemon burst, iced tea, my cherry, and dark burst, which is like tobacco. I do a one step to all my bursts that people don't know specifically about. There's actually a stain before they ever paint it, and it can make the flames really stand out. And that's pretty much my trademark. So if you see a guitar with really radical highlighted flames that I do, it's because of that. It's a step before the actual burst. It's awesome.
Made to Measure is a program of creating unique, one-of-a-kind guitars, or maybe a limited run of guitars in different finish treatments, different types of specs, and some of those are ordered, actually many of those are ordered to be aged by our Murphy Lab. So the Murphy Lab, it is an aging department at Gibson. It's very top secret, and they're aging guitars for regular price list models that you see on our website, or for custom order made to measures. So that's really the connection.
We do made to measure guitars all the time in the lab, but not all made to measure goes through the lab, and not all lab guitars are made to measure. Made to measure is a separate thing that sometimes they ask for the lab treatment also.
So the Gibson Garage really started before I was here, the first time I met with Cesar, he asked me a question of, where would you go to get the ultimate Gibson experience? Would it be Norm's? Would it be Chicago Music Exchange? And the answer was it didn't exist. And he's like, we need to build it. There was 2 dirty words that we weren't allowed to use in the design of the Gibson Garage. The first one was store, and the second one was museum. Although you can buy things here, and we have all sorts of cool historical stuff on display that you can check out in exhibits and stuff, it's really not either a store or a museum. It is an experience center. It is a place to learn the history. It's a place to put your hands on and play anything you've been looking at online. It's a place to catch a live show. It's a place to design your own guitar. It's a place for the community to gather and take lessons from Marty Schwartz when he comes in and does live lessons on stage. It's a place to see huge stars that just walking around looking at stuff with you. It's really about the whole brand story and bringing 130 years of brand to life. That's what this place is all about.
Gibson is the most important brand for rock and roll in particular because of its models and its pickups. The Les Paul, the SG, paired with a humbucker, loud volumes, it gets brash tones, and you can do so much with it. You can roll off the volume and you can get a clean tone, and you can roll up the volume and get like the most overdriven gain tone that you've ever wanted. To me, it makes sense why Gibson has been there at every stage of rock and roll and early rock and roll, and the roots of even country music with Maybelle Carter's L5. So the progression of music and popular music in the world, really, Gibson was there at every step.
C'est une marque qui parle à tout le monde, tout simplement. Il n'y a pas un groupe de rock qui n'est pas passé par Gibson. Voilà, les Guns, même Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler a joué sur Les Paul aussi pour Money for Nothing, et ça a fait des sons vraiment typiquement reconnaissables. Ils ont un son, ils ont une identité sonore, une identité visuelle. Même les groupes qui sont pas connus pour jouer sur Gibson sont passés sur Gibson, ont fait des choses de légende sur Gibson. Pour moi, tu peux pas faire du rock sans passer par Gibson.
It can't be pinned to any one thing. It can't be pinned to any one generation. It can't be pinned to any one artist or any one genre of music, The birth of jazz, it was there. At the birth of country music, it was there. At the birth of bluegrass music, it was there. The birth of rock and roll, it was there. At the birth of Hawaiian steel music, it was there. Hard rock, heavy metal, country music today, it's everywhere. It's all-encompassing the history of recorded music. If Gibson instruments have hit more people's ears than any other brand, then it has to be the most iconic brand. It just has to be. Gibson is everywhere.